It is Thursday, April 26th, 2018. And this is a really bad traffic day for Guy's Daily Drive. Okay, well, fun. The route that I normally take to go home from work, I was actually just in the process of starting to record, just suddenly went to total crap. And all the lanes eastbound on the particular road that I use were blocked. So I did a slight detour and I got onto the interstate here, and now I'm trying to decide if I want to I think, you know what, I am going to get off the interstate because I don't want to deal with I-95 going toward what is that, the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. It's either the Woodrow Wilson Bridge or the Memorial Bridge. This time of the day, it's a garbage route. No matter what direction you're going to go in, no matter what bridge you're trying to get over, whether you're trying to go from Virginia into Maryland or from Maryland into Virginia, it's total crap. And I'm not going to get caught in it. However, what I wanted to talk about was buying cars. Now, I have been in the process of looking at cars for probably, and I mean seriously looking at cars, for probably the last 6 months or so. And just today, I went to a particular dealership. Actually, I'm getting ready to pass that particular dealership. And they had, it was a 2017 Kia Soul Exclaim. All the bells and whistles, pretty much laid out like the car I had rented, 2 weeks ago. And, you know, the price for the car wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. But a couple of things, and it's not just this dealership that does it. You know, I'm not saying that they were being disingenuous or that they were being dishonest or anything like that. It's just the games that car dealers play. Now, I don't know how much of a revelation this is going to be to anyone watching this, but car dealerships can be a real scam, because the thing is, especially new car dealerships actually make very little money. Sorry. They make very little money on new car sales. It's not the bulk of their business. It's kind of like, you know, to bring it back to Apple. The primary business of Apple is not to sell computers, even though it wasn't all that long ago when the company was called Apple Computers, and their main product was the Macintosh. Well, now their main product is the iPhone and various other iOS devices. The Mac is down to somewhere between 20 to 25% in total revenue for the company, but it doesn't matter because Apple is making a lot of money. So whether they make it from phones and tablets or whether they make it from computers, hardly really matters. It's, they're making lots of money. So the fact that new car dealers are making very little money from new car sales shouldn't really bother anybody. Where they do make their money, where most of their money is made, is from repairs and services and the sale of used cars. And here's the game. You go into a dealership to buy a car. You have a car. So, they offer you X number of dollars for the car, making sure to point out every single problem with that car as compared to the car that you want to buy, which of course has no problems because, especially as it was at one point, it was somebody else's used car. Now it's their car trying to sell to you. So they lowball the offer they make as a trade for your car. And then, after you have bought whatever it is that you're going to buy, assuming that you do buy it, they turn around, and if the car is worthy of being sold on their lot, and many cars, especially with new car dealers, many cars are not. They only want to sell the finest used cars, and that's fine. So, if they can't sell them on their lot, they sell them at auction or wholesale houses or what have you. But no matter if they sell it themselves as a used car or if it's sold at auction or sold to a wholesaler, they are making a profit on that car. If they sell it themselves, they could make very much money. Like for example, the 2017 Kia Soul Exclaim that I was looking at today was selling for about $18,500, which is less than the retail price of a similar car. So that's the gimme. That's the come on in and look at this great price on a used car. Except that's not what they paid for that car. They paid probably, and I haven't seen the bill of sale, but if they gave whoever it is they got that car from, if they gave them more than $14,000 for that car, I would be very surprised. So, well, let's go high. Let's say they gave them $15,000. They turn around and they sell the car for $18,500. Okay, so that's a $3,500 profit right there. But that's not the end of it. Now, there's also, of course, when you purchase something, especially something big like a car, whatever state you live in, once they're cut, so you have sales taxes, you have tags that you have to pay for. These are all legal requirements that have to be met in order to sell a car in whatever jurisdiction that you're in. But that's not the end of it. Then there's what they like to put in as dealer prep, or there's lots of different names for it, but let's just stick with dealer prep. And this is what they do. They get a car in, and they have people go over that car and clean it up and spiffy it up and make it look nice. This is the price of doing business. This is not an added expense that should be put onto whatever car or service that it is that they're selling. chances are whoever it is that is doing this work for the dealership is going to be there whether or not they have cars that they need to clean up and make look pretty. And whatever that cost is to the dealership, number one, should be paid for by the dealer as price of doing business. Number two, does not cost that dealer $1,000. So with a car like a Kia Soul, relatively small car, to clean it up, make it look nice, 2 hours at most. And I doubt that they're paying these detailers all that much money. So basically the car dealership that I was at charges about $1,000 for this service, of which $700 to $800 is pure profit. So this is on top of the extra money, however much over they sold you the car for as compared to what they paid for it. And now you throw in this extra $500 to $800, depending on what particular companies charge for that, dealer prep, whatever they want to call it. And this is all almost pure profit for them, and that's fine. It's the American way. If you can get more for something as compared to less for something, well, then buyer beware. It's up to the buyer to make sure that you are in the best mode to negotiate a price for a particular car or a particular service. The absolute worst time to buy a car is when you need a car, when you absolutely have to have a car. I've got really lucky, and I have this Ford Flex that I bought brand new in 2009 for a ridiculously low price, because I happened to walk in at a time when they had lots of these cars and they weren't selling. And the Flex was never a big seller for Ford anyway. So I got like this silly price for this car, and they still made money. They still made money on the sale of this car to me. But not as much as they would have made if it was a Mustang or some car that was really a big hot seller. So buyer beware. So the worst time to buy a car is when you need a car. So when I went into this dealership to look at this Kia that I saw in Car Gurus, I'm going to look at another one right now if I can get there in time, depending on what this traffic is like. I let them know pretty much up front I was not buying a car that day. And it's very important for them to try to get you to buy that car that day. Because if you walk out the door, chances are you're not going to come back to buy a car. I mean, that's... Anyone who sells cars will pretty much tell you the same thing. So there's a big incentive for them to get you to stay in the dealership for as long as possible so that you don't think you're wasting your time, to get you to buy a car. Well, because I have a car and it runs reasonably well, I'm not in any big hurry to buy a car. That is the best time to buy a car, when you don't need a car. So I will shop around, I will look around, and I don't even know if I'll end up with a Kia Soul. I could end up with some other kind of car. I may not get a car now, I may not get a car in a month, I may not get a car in a year. But it'll be my decision, and it'll be from a position of relative strength as compared to someone who needs to get a car right now. So there's the lesson. Always try to get them to take off the dealer prep crap because it's not required by law, and you don't have to pay it. That is one of the points of negotiation. Don't pay for that if you can avoid it. If they insist on it, walk away. If the deal isn't good enough, walk away. Deal from a position of strength where you already have a car. Okay. This coming July, I keep talking about this every single time I do one of these. The Mac Stock Conference and Expo, July 21st and 22nd. Right now, as I record this, $189 out the door to go to this conference. Both days of the conference, there's no additional charges. They give you lunch for both days. You get a t-shirt. Saturday night, big to-do mixer that Barry Falk is putting together. And his wife, Bobby. I just blew it again. His wife, Bobby, who is a wonderful, wonderful woman. And I have sat down and talked with her many times. And if I wasn't so friggin' inept when it comes to remembering names, I would know that. Anyway, $189 out the door with the coupon code MTTFBonus10. $189. Check that out. It's going to be a great show. This is the 4th year for it. You don't want to miss it, especially if you live anywhere near the Chicago area. You can reach me through a couple of different email addresses. The main one being guy@mymac.com, probably, or guy@mttfgo.com. You can reach me on the Twitters. My Twitter handle is MacParrot. And you can also find me on Wednesday nights. I do a live cast with Warren Sklar. The Mac to the Future live cast, I do that on my main page. It's open to the public, but I also redirect that to the Mac to the Future community page there on Facebook. It's a great community, by the way, if I haven't mentioned it enough. And of course, I also do the MyMac.com podcast with the ever so infamous Gazmaz over there in the UK. We have a great time with that. We've recorded, oh God, I think sometime next year it'll be close to 500 weekly shows. Wow, yeah, long time. So that is gonna about do it for today's Daily Drive. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you will catch me next time. Bye.